Hi everyone, welcome back to Baka Bitches. We are two 30-something-year-olds who love to drink and talk about anime. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it off to Hannah to quickly go through our anime disclaimers.
Yes, because you'll need them just in case you don't want sensitive ears listening. But yeah, this is fair warning, a podcast that we're going to be talking about there's going to be language, there's going to be cursing because we're drinking, there's going to be drinks. So
What the fuck are you talking about?
I know.
What kind of fucking language is
rude.
happening in
this
here?
This is bullshit.
It's a family show.
So sorry.
Please don't watch this with your family.
Yeah, don't do it.
Watch it in private.
With the door closed and locked. But yeah, so there's going to be language. There's probably going to be some sexy talk in here.
Some adult themes.
Definitely a lot of adult themes. And that ranges
references
from,
to sexuality.
Yes, sexy sex time and daddies. Lots of daddies.
So many daddies. All the daddies with an I-E-S. Daddies.
Daddies.
Probably some dark elements. Some things that might be uncomfortable. Death.
Sex, violence, drug use.
Mm-hmm. Heavy themes.
We're gonna talk about it all. So if you're a little sensitive about those subjects, please just be aware that it's to your discretion, and don't come at us for watching in dub. Okay?
Mostly don't come at us for that because we are Baka Bitches and we are not reading subtitles.
We are not. Maybe on our own time, but this is podcast time, and we gotta go with the English. We gotta go with the English so we absorb it all.
Enjoy, guys.
Enjoy. Hello everyone, and welcome to Baka Bitches. We are two 30-something-year-olds who love to drink and talk about anime. I'm Hannah.
I'm Stephanie.
And boy, howdy do we have
a finale. A season finale. Not a finale. Yeah. We aren't going to call it a finale.
No.
It's the season finale.
Because clearly there has got to be a season 2 after this.
If there is not, we will rage.
I will rage. I will go to Netflix's headquarters, and I'm just going to be a one-woman picketer. Be like, season 2. You're
going to be the stalker to the Netflix people.
I am.
And they're like, what show are you even talking about, you crazy person?
Like, we crank out like 200 of these a year. Which one are you going for?
Yeah.
I'm like, the one that you need a season 2 with.
Like 3 years ago that we just didn't watch when it came out. Didn't this come out in 2001?
No, last year.
It was 2022?
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, to be fair, it's halfway through 2023.
I know. It's almost been a year since it's been out, but that's fine. Okay, so our episode, it's the last episode of this anime, clearly.
Of the season, not of the anime.
Yes.
Of the season.
Of what we currently have of the anime.
I will reach over, Hannah.
And slap me. Slap the shit out of me.
Don't you dare say it's the last episode of the anime. It is not.
That we have watched.
There will be more.
It's the
we have faith.
Season
we have so
finale.
much faith. There we go.
Okay.
Finales.
Yeah, it's the finales. And it is titled Last Story. It's got the exclamation point question mark, so it's...
Is that the title? I wrote it down completely wrong.
What did you write?
I wrote Love Story.
Oh. No. Last Story.
God
question mark. Question mark, exclamation point, kind of a thing.
Okay.
So, they're really leaving up in the air for us.
They are.
And I kind of
exclamation point, question mark.
Yeah. Okay, so it says... Anzu gets a scratch on the forehead from Yukana. That's how you say it. I didn't see the spelling before. I was going in blind.
I'm just butchering everything I pronounce, you guys.
Fine. It's cool. I do that too. It's okay. Okay, so Anzu gets a scratch on her forehead from Yukana, and before she can do any more damage, Tsukasa comes running to protect her, angrily decrying her actions. Yukana is arrested, but Tsukasa's father still blames him. Furious, Anzu stands up to him and takes Tsukasa home. Hijiri, whose father employs Yukana's uncle, makes sure he doesn't cover up her crimes yet again, so Yukana is imprisoned. RiRi once again appears before Anzu as Riho, kissing her forehead while confessing love to her, before simply vanishing. Later that night, RiRi menacingly visits Yukana in her prison cell. News then arrives that Yukana has lost years of memories and has no idea who Tsukasa is, reliving... Oh, wow, they spelled that wrong. They said reliving everyone. I think they mean relieving everyone, which makes much more sense, but someone cannot spell.
Fucking wiki.
Truly, this is what you get for free shit. Anzu's parents return home with games, chocolate, and momohiki.
Yay.
And they also spelt it momohiko, and that is very wrong.
See, all of my mispronunciations are not my fault, Hannah.
It's just wiki.
Fucking wiki.
It's fucking wiki.
That's
and
what we're gonna blame it on.
These plebs that write it.
Ugh, plebs. I can't even with them.
With her 3 loves returned, Anzu wonders where RiRi went. That night, Tsukasa informs Junta he is in love with Anzu. A cupid... They're not cupids, they're wizards. What the fuck is this entry?
I know.
I am
They're bad.
crying right now.
I make up half of what I read. I retranslate
Now you tell me.
I retranslate it.
No, you tell me. No, I just read it straight up, and this is the first time it's really confuckled me this much.
What was that?
Confuckled?
Continue.
A cupid,
Confuckle.
scratch that, wizard named Kate appears before Anzu to replace RiRi, but Tsukasa and Junta accidentally see her, so Kate and Anzu reveal everything. Kate reveals RiRi has been exiled for developing feelings for Anzu and using forbidden magic on Yukana. Anzu blackmails Kate into letting her see RiRi, which she is able to convince her higher-ups to allow. While RiRi transformed into Riho, Anzu thanks him for making her life better and asks him what he truly wants. Riho admits he wants to stay with Anzu, so she declares to Kate that there is a chance she might make Riho her boyfriend. So by Cupid, scratch that, wizard law, Kate cannot separate potential lovers, and Riho is allowed to stay. Anzu's parents return to America, and Tsukasa and Junta continue living with Anzu. RiRi announces that love cupids, wizards, have decided Anzu must choose a boyfriend before graduating high school, or she will lose her games, chocolate, and momohiki permanently. With Anzu declaring she will that is a weird sentence. With Anzu declaring she will refuse to let that happen. Meanwhile, Kate is assigned to another human in need of romantic assistance, the amnesiac Yukana.
Dun, dun, dun.
That is the end of that synopsis, and boy, I'm sure that was a lot to even listen to. But if you saw that episode, there were a lot of emotional roller coasters.
It was.
That
It was full of laughs. It was full of tears. It was full of exclaims of and oh.
Like, oh.
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 I think before we get into it, what are we drinking tonight, Hannah?
Yeah, tonight we are drinking, I did a little mixy mix. I put in a half a can each of a Moscow Mule.
A little ginger beer.
A little ginger beer, but I topped that off with a shot of citrus vodka each, because I definitely know we must mix our spirits.
Especially for this.
Especially for this. I had to make it good and toasty for us. A little splash of lemon juice. and another shot. Well, I think it was a half shot of the sweet tea vodka as well. Did a little mix of that, so it's not.
It's good. It's not overly sweet. It's mostly
it's really not
mostly
that sweet.
citrusy.
Yeah,
Mostly lemony. I don't really even taste the ginger, but yeah, it's.
I know.
lemony.
I kind of muddled the ginger out of it, but that's
good.
fine. But yeah, so I kind of figured you were not into the sweetness.
Yeah, the sweet was getting to me.
I know, that's fair. Our previous drink was too sweet for
It's too syrupy sweet for me.
Stephanie,
I cannot.
and I chugged mine because I have no I don't even know the word.
Appreciate. It always makes me feel good.
Yeah.
That no matter what concoctions we come up with.
Yeah, I have no standards. That's the word I was looking for.
Perfect.
I have no standards. But yeah, so let's dive into
this episode.
Whew, yeah. So
a lot happened because where we left off from our last week's episode was Anzu had, or we didn't know if it was Anzu. We had assumed it was Anzu getting hurt because our last flash was of crazy stalker girl showing up at the convenience store where Anzu works. They had an altercation in the alleyway, but all we saw was cutscene, concrete, and splattering of blood.
Right.
So we assumed it was Anzu.
Yeah, which, I mean, kind of rightfully so, considering Yukana was brandishing a really big knife.
And she was ready for it, and Anzu was just getting ready to leave to go home.
Yeah, I will yet again say, if you have a stalker, don't go through any side door, back alleyways where you could be cornered. That's stupid.
And don't go alone.
Yes, don't. Like, ask to be escorted out of the building. And
right.
Anyways,
Anzu didn't do that. And we thankfully pick up exactly where we left off. So we see what happened. So as it turns out, Anzu is not alone for very long with the crazy stalker chick.
Yeah.
Because Tsukasa and
Arisa,
the whole gang is there. Like, where's Anzu?
Yeah,
and then the store convenience manager was like, oh, she was just here. She was in the back room. I'm pretty sure she left.
Yeah.
And so they all kind of run out to the front of the convenience store and they're like, let's split up and look for her. And Limo Daddy is like, no, Hairy Cheeks, you stay here because you still have to work.
Yeah, you must earn that money.
I will take care of this.
Yeah, I got this, fam.
Sexy.
Yeah, very love a man in charge.
So authoritative.
And in a suit.
Tell me what to do, stubbly daddy. So anyways, they all kind of like form little teams of like two and they all run off. And Tsukasa and sister are the first one to find Anzu.
Yeah, they're running past the alleyway, just going down the street, and Arisa runs past, doesn't even look, doesn't see what's going on. Tsukasa is right behind her, and he sees something happening in the corner of his eye. He turns and looks and sees this scene where Anzu is cornered by Yukana, knife in hand, and
Anzu on the floor, I think, at that point.
Yeah,
was
something
she on the
like
floor,
that.
She
Against
was just kind of like
wall,
hunched over.
And like blood coming down because Anzu got cut on her forehead. Like, it's still a pretty long cut. Like, it takes like kind of like half her forehead.
And that's an area that bleeds easily because there's not much else there to pat it. It's just one of those bleed areas.
It's just flesh, blood vessels, and then your skull. So like there's no
stopping it. It's just bleeding.
Yeah, you're just going to be bleeding all over the place until you get that fixed.
Yeah, so she's bleeding all over.
And
Tsukasa
stops in fear a little bit.
Yeah, but then he gets it together when he sees that Anzu is hurt, and he's like, oh, hell no.
Not my girl.
Dog. Nah.
Not today, fam.
And so then he starts yelling about
Like,
I don't even know. Just
more or less get away from Anzu.
Get away from me. Get away from everybody in my life. Stay out of my life.
I don't ever want to see you again.
I don't want to hear your voice. I don't want to see your face.
I don't want anything to do with you.
I don't want to hear your name.
And
please leave. And
Yukana's like, oh, my love, you know, like slowly walking towards him, like, oh, you came, blah, blah, blah.
I know you wouldn't be saying these terrible things.
Yeah.
You're clearly, you know, brainwashed, or you're clearly having like a problem. But I know you would never talk to me like this because
everyone's getting in the way, and it's their fault that you're, you know, we're supposed to be in love kind of stuff.
Just come here and be with me. And then that's when Tsukasa kind of freezes up.
Mm-hmm. And
because he's getting triggered all over again. And then Anzu pulls it together and then steps in between the two. Because crazy stalker Yukana has been creeping her way closer to Tsukasa. Mm-hmm. And Anzu just steps in, bleeding and everything, and she's like, no, I will never not be by Tsukasa's side.
Right.
I will always be here for him, and you will always have to deal with me.
Yep, you will have to go through me first.
A queen moment.
Like, even though she has just been slashed up a little bit by this girl, she's like, you're gonna have to slash me 1,000 more times before you can get to him.
Bitch.
Like, fuck. And I'm like, that is such a badass move.
And then right at that moment, that's when police show up. Mm-hmm. Great timing.
Fantastic timing. And Yukana is luckily arrested. And finally arrested. Like, the law finally comes in and
does their fucking job
for once. Hey, congratulations. Mm-hmm. And there's kind of a bit of a peace of mind with this, because you kind of there's a little cutscene, I can't remember where exactly in this episode, but you see, I guess it's Yukana's mother who's on the phone, and she's just like, what do you mean you can't protect her again? You can't clear things up, blah, blah, blah. And it turns out to be Yukana's uncle, and the uncle's just like, I can't cover for her anymore. And well, I guess we'll get
we'll get to all those details later. But
more or less,
we did have that cutscene.
Yeah, we did have that.
With
I
the
just
mother.
Can't remember where. So that's as much info
I'm pretty
as I'll
sure
give
it was
you guys.
right there.
Yeah,
it was right at the police break where the police, you know, do their fucking job, and they arrest crazy psycho Yukana, and they also take in Anzu, kind of patch her up, and probably get a statement from her, along with Tsukasa, because he was a witness now at that point. But everybody else was there, like all of Anzu's friends. They're all there.
Shit. Yeah,
so they're all there, and I'm pretty sure that's when we had that cutscene of Yukana's mom just like raging, but we're not really sure at who. Just like, what do you mean you can't keep covering her or protecting her?
Yeah,
but we don't really have much other context except for like, oh yeah, that makes sense, because clearly someone is paying for this to be taken care of.
Yeah,
because she's being
her out.
Overly creepy.
For sure, like she's just getting away with far too much. And it turns out that it's her uncle, and her uncle works for, plot twist, Hajiri's father.
Yes.
And so Hajiri is actually doing some sort of meeting with the uncle and saying, no more protecting her. She needs to go away for what she did because she harmed one of my friends.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to allow that.
Right.
And so she does. She gets sent away. And I know in the wiki it says, like, prison. But
it seemed more like a mental health
definitely
institution.
A more like, one of those, for sure.
Because when we see her later at the very end, which we'll get to, she was, like, sitting on a bench, like, not in shackles. Yeah. And it didn't look like a prison. Like, it was, like, nice scenery.
Fresh air.
There was grass.
Yeah.
It was not
it was
prison-ish.
Definitely a mental health facility.
But we'll get there. So Still at the police department, before we leave the police department, Anzu comes out and is greeted by all of her friends, and she's like, "Oh, guys, you didn't all have to be here. That's, really
shucks.
nice. And just, I feel my heart is so warm and full of fuzzies, blah, 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 blah."
Yeah, so glad.
And that's when we see Tsukasa's dad show up.
Yes. The mom, his mom shows up and his dad at the same time. And the mom's just kind of chill, just kind of there. But his dad just takes over.
Yeah.
And
so aggro.
And walks up to Anzu and is like, "Are you Anzu?" I forgot it. Hoshino? "Are you Anzu Hoshino?" And she's like, "Yeah." And Tsukasa's just standing right beside Anzu.
Right.
And his dad is just like, "It's my son's fault, and I apologize." And he
aggressively
needs to apologize.
grabs Tsukasa's
Back of the head.
with, grasping his hair and forces them both together, into a bow.
Bow deeply, which, I know that's customary.
We see face triggers of Tsukasa just,
wincing and just,
being
hurts.
triggered by, the abuse he's received his entire life.
I mean, this is definitely
it's a struggle between, I'm respecting of my father and my elder, and I don't want to call him out.
But also, this is not okay.
Right. Yeah, so Tsukasa's dad is just apologizing on behalf of, Tsukasa Kazuki over and over, "Oh, I'm sorry that this has happened. This is all my son's fault. He's just fucking moron," and...
Yeah, just, really going in on it.
And, sorry you had to deal with this, and your parents are out of town. This must be really stressful for you, so we're just going to get out of your hair now. Okay, bye. And then Anzu's like, no, hold up. And then grabs Tsukasa's hand and is like, "You're coming with me. Let's go home now."
Yeah. And I'm like, yes. Because that was a one of the greatest, silent fuck yous.
Yeah.
To someone, yeah, okay, he's going, but he's not going with you. He's going home with me, because that's where he belongs.
And not even in a sexy way in this moment. It was very powerful, where she was like, "Thanks, sir, but no."
Yeah. And then she turns around and gives just, another heaping of, fuck yous by turning around and going, "It's your son that's been going through this,
and he really needed you.
He needed you, and instead of coming here and
supporting
him and protecting him, you've been telling everyone that he's not the victim and it's his fault, and that's not okay, and you should more or less be ashamed of yourself because you have not fulfilled your fatherly duties."
Yes.
And yes, that is how you stick it to him without cursing him out.
It was really a sight to behold.
Yeah. And the one of the best parts about that scene is near the end, and Arisa, Tsukasa's sister, just starts busting up laughing at her dad being told off by
because he's
a
just
15-year-old girl.
Gaping a fish out of water. He was like
don't
words?
You're
How
telling
dare
me?
someone ever talk to me like this?
You're telling me I am not an actual man? And absolutely no, you are not, sir.
Yeah, it was definitely things. So
I love that.
Tsukasa and Anzu, they get back to Anzu's place.
Yeah.
And that's when Tsukasa just brings Anzu into a hug and is like, "You know what? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being you. Thank you for sticking up for me. Thank you for
everything.
Dealing with this, for your unwavering friendship when I really needed someone." And,
Yeah.
just a genuine, heartfelt moment. Hannah and I were both all the feels. We were both because it was so sweet. Not necessarily sexually charged.
No,
it was just
no. You don't get that
the things.
sense. As I when we were talking about it, because the reason we see flashbacks of certain moments, like in the anime.
That started. So it kind of was at the beginning, like the breaking of the phone. Right. But we get the context for why Tsukasa didn't really care about the phone being broken.
Right.
Because he was like feeling hassled. He had just started at this new school. Mm-hmm. His phone is being blown up by like social media or text messaging with
previous,
like, where have you been? What are you doing? Miss you. Like, come over here.
You should come over. We're going to have a get together. Blah,
all
blah, blah.
these questions, overwhelming. And he was like overly stimulated by all of it. And then Anzu just rushes out of the convenience store in a panic frenzy that she can't find chocolate.
Right.
And so that's why we find that he was really more nonchalant about the phone. He was kind of more like relieved, like, well, I guess now I literally just can't deal with that shit.
Wow. Break from social media.
All
Darn.
Right. Social media cleanse. Like, here we go.
I can even be more offline, which is great for me. And so that starts it off, and then they give you kind of the brief rundown of that scenario of Anzu just being like, oh my gosh, I'll pay for it. I'm so sorry. And
then he's like, no, it's fine. And she's like, okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Leaves him alone. And I'm sure he's like...
She just leaves.
Oh, that's a breath of fresh air. Because the last girl that I had some sort of...
fucking nuts.
Yeah, I just handed her a bag and she's all obsessed with me. So this girl breaks my phone and she just runs away. And... then he flashes back to the second
subway incident.
The subway. She falls again.
Because I think she bumped into him.
Yeah,
right?
something like that. And she falls to the floor on her hands and knees.
And we saw in that moment in the anime where he kind of froze up and his friends were like, dude, aren't you going to help her?
Yeah. Like,
but now we get the context. He froze up because in that moment when Anzu is on the floor because she had fallen... he just had that flashback to crazy
girl
stalker
when they first met, quote unquote.
And then she gave him that creepy ass smile stare. Yeah. Except for then Tsukasa was able to quickly like pull himself out of that because Anzu just immediately jumped up and was like, "Nope, I don't need help. I'm fine. Okay, bye.
I'm leaving this whole thing forever."
And he was still like not really noticing her at that point. He was just like, okay, weird. And then just like moved on.
Yeah, but this is okay.
And then he goes on to explain like, and then when I really took notice of you was like that one changing moment where Anzu stepped in for what did we call her? That brown hair, the brunette chick,
the pick-me girl.
The pick-me girl who was over here like, so, Anzu, can you just try to, like, help me get closer to Tsukasa since you guys are friends? And then Anzu stepped in and was like, no, I know my friend, and out of respect for my friend and what I know they want, no, I'm not going to help you get closer to him because if he wanted that, he'd be doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we kind of see that's the shift on where it came from. And he just delivers that line while he's still embracing her. He like whispers it into her ear. Like, somewhere along the way, you became really important to me. So sweet. It was the sweetest. Hannah and I are swooning. And then the door teary-eyed. Just like... aggressively opens and we see Junta casually walking in and then just poor boy just like just suck up into himself when he sees the embrace happening and we see him physically and mentally die.
Yes.
He just shrinks down, makes all these weird little snake movements.
He like falls into the hallway and is just like beside himself, like not knowing what to do.
This happen?
I am sorry for interrupting, and like just like super
as Anzu
dramatic.
Runs out and she's like, it's not what you think.
It's fine.
He's running up the stairs, tears down his face, like
stumbling over the steps as he tries to get back up.
Hilarious. And I feel like those type of comedic moments are like what makes this the romantic comedy that it is, not just romantic, sappy romantic.
Right.
Which there's a time and a place for that type of anime.
Absolutely.
This is not one of them. So, we kind of full circled it.
Yeah, I'm really glad that they did that scene because I was like way too up in my feels with
Same.
Everything happens seconds before.
I have been team nothing but Junta from the very beginning. Even though Tsukasa was our first eligible bachelor, I still felt very lukewarm about him. And so, yeah, even in this moment, I was like, it wouldn't be so bad if we just get together and we're just so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. Yeah, so I was totally there with it. So this kind of broke me from that where I was like, oh yes, there are many other very fun options here that we need to just
we just need
cycle
to
through.
Explore this.
Let's hear Junta's story. Let's hear
get more of that.
Yeah, let's hear Limo Daddy's story. I need all of the stories.
Every single story needs to be told.
It comes out, he's like, yeah, I used to be named Haruma, and I was into this girl named Tenma, and now I just chauffeur hairy cheeks around.
Yeah, and I'd be like, you know what? Perfect.
Amazing.
I'm sold. That is my daddy.
Yes. So it was really good. So we kind of had that comedic break.
Yeah, which was needed because I was like, oh no, don't make me feel
Don't be in the feels. We're not here for the feels.
I was not prepared to tear up a little bit, but
not
here
tonight,
we are.
Not tonight. Maybe another night. Maybe another anime.
Depends.
But
yeah, then we kind of
cut scene
to, I believe this is where we do kind of a cutscene to RiRi. Am I
doing
that right?
From my notes, it was we cut scene to everybody circle powwow talking about what is going to be Yukana's punishment.
Oh, okay.
It hasn't been punishment enough in the past. Everything that we've tried to do, this was Tsukasa's mom talking to the group. She's like, it's not been enough. I really hope that it's going to be a good punishment. And it's going to be impactful and lasting and get her the help that she needs. And then that's where RiRi's in the back oh, idea.
Yeah, what she's got right now just isn't enough for me.
Yeah, and so RiRi's like, okay, let me figure this out. And so RiRi's doing their little detective work, and then we flash to the Hairy Cheeks incident where Hairy Cheeks is over here we've been covering this, and we need to not be covering this because, first of all, it's wrong. Second of all, this is one of my very good friends. And this needs to end. We're not protecting Yukana anymore.
Which RiRi at that point was in her human girl form,
in a tree.
sitting in a tree.
Like an owl.
How do you not see that? Because it's not like that tree was very lush or anything. It was just a tree branch, barely anything on it. And we're like, okay, so you were just right out the window, staring in your human girl form, and no one notices?
But RiRi has a good disillusionment charm that they effectively know how to use. Okay, I'm going to put those terms on there because of later. Later.
Very important foreshadowing.
Then we next cut scene to RiRi appearing in, I don't know, I guess according to Wiki, the jail cell.
Yeah, but it was really her room.
Her room. Yeah, Yukana's room. And is just bippity boppity boo, motherfucker. I stole all your memories. You forgot everything that's happened the past few years.
Yep, we're done. We're good. I'm over this. There you go.
Yeah, and so that's when we get more information from the little powwow circle with, Tsukasa's mom. Yeah, it's very strange. The lawyers are saying that Yukana doesn't remember anything from the past few years. I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah, I would be sus of that too.
It is so sus.
Oh, you conveniently now forgot everything?
Which,
you just want to be released back into the world. I'm sure, like, that's your goal here.
Right. And it makes sense for Anzu because she understands more of the magical realm that's happening.
Mm-hmm. But she doesn't know that RiRi
right, she doesn't
with it.
even know that RiRi has done that. Mm-hmm. And so she, I guess, I don't know, waits for the quorum to leave and then comes banging around her living room like, RiRi, get your ass out here. I got questions. Yeah, wait, what did I miss?
It was before that, like, she was in her room and RiRi does appear.
Oh, that's right.
In boy form. And is like, well, you don't have to worry about any sort of block in your relationship. Like, it's all taken care of. And
you don't have to worry about Yukana anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of this.
We're good. We're good. Don't even worry about it anymore.
You good people. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Yeah, just kind of like
and
really
also
finalizing stuff. And eventually he's Riho is like, I love you. Kisses her on the forehead. And Anzu's like, don't be a weirdo, and like starts trying to be violent with him as usual. Mm-hmm. And he's just avoiding every attack and just eventually gets her to sit down and be like, you know, I'll see you later, bye. You know, but like he did it in a different way where it was sounding pretty final. And so that's when there's just kind of this really quiet moment for a while, and Anzu's like, oh, he hasn't actually appeared, or she hasn't actually appeared in a while. What is going on?
That's right, yeah.
And that's when she goes into the living room / kitchen area part of the house and closes the door and is like, RiRi, can you explain what is going on? Because, that's why she's like, what is going on? Because her parents both come home and they bring her tons of video games, chocolates, and momohiki. And it's like, oh wait, these are all my favorite
Although we did kind of
loves.
glaze over that because Anzu's mom came back a hair before. Like, as soon as they got home from the police department after that first night, her mom had showed up. Mm-hmm. And it was like, no, your father's taking care of wrapping things up, and who would take care of momohiki? Haha.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
And so I just thought we weren't going to see Momohiki and Dad again, Anzu's dad again, but then they did show up later. Mm-hmm. And yes, with the chocolate and the video games. So Anzu is really just living her best life. Amazing. And she got everything.
And then she finally slowly started to realize, like, oh wait, this is actually really sus, because RiRi would not allow me to have these things, so why can I now have these things? And so she is very frustrated and tries to call out for RiRi and is like, you better explain yourself. I don't get what's happening. Like, you just need to explain everything. And that is when we get a little bit of a peek of a different wand. Instead of RiRi's typical star-topped wand,
it was
we
like
see a flower.
Pink flower.
Yeah. Pink-petaled flower.
Yes.
On top of a wand. And then a different magical potato
that looks
out.
very similar.
Very similar.
Just slight adjustments. Mm-hmm. No longer the rounded ears, but like little pointy ears.
Kind of looks more like a cat instead of
a little
like a bear.
Lighter in color and like not as much purple. A little bit more pink tones.
Yeah.
Kind of pops out from behind the couch and is like, hi.
So like, I'm the new magical potato.
My name's Kate.
My name is Kate. Like, okay. Well, at least it's not offensive.
I just died, Kate. It was just...
My name is Kate.
They went from, like, naming a thing, like, a nonsensical, like, RiRi to like Kate.
Like, it's just Kate. Okay, just Kate.
So Kate shows up and is just kind of chitter-chattering away, and that's when, Kate is like chattering. Anzu's yelling as she do. And then Junta and Tsukasa walk into the room and freeze up, and they're like, and I think it was Tsukasa who's like, hold up, what?
Like, what is going on?
Anzu is like, you can see Kate?
Yeah, you can see this thing. And they're like, yeah, what's that floating doll?
And then that's when Kate is like, oh, my bad. I forgot to put like a disillusionment charm on myself.
Yeah.
Like, I forgot.
Granted, Kate was very new trainee, which I don't know why you're throwing a trainee magical potato in this situation, but
this called for like your
expert.
best of your best, sir, with honors, and we did not get that.
We did not.
We got Kate.
We just got intern Kate.
We just got
over
Kate.
here, and Kate's just like, oh shit, I guess I have to explain everything.
And so Kate's kind of given the rundown, and Anzu's like, hold up, no, I want to talk to RiRi. Bring RiRi back.
Yeah.
And essentially is threatening the sake of like
The wand.
the wizarding world and like what they stand for and represent by like holding Kate's wand over the toilet after Anzu's father has used the restroom.
Yeah, and like made a mess of the toilet, I guess.
So Kate is like, okay, cool.
Okay.
I can give you 15 minutes. That's the best we can
That's
do.
what we got.
Here's 15 minutes. And so, bibbity boppity boo.
RiRi
This
appears.
got so magical so quickly.
It really did.
RiRi appears. Anzu's like, can you take your human form, please? I need that.
Like, super serious. And I'm like, go on. What are we doing here? And RiRi turns into Riho, the male human version of him, I guess? Question mark.
It's them. I keep
them.
referring to it as them.
Yeah,
I feel like that's fair.
It really, because it's
I'm not
clearly
sure.
gender fluid.
I'm not sure.
At this
Yes.
point. And I will do a side note really quick. Bless Tsukasa and Junta for sitting down, hearing everything, and then just be like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
That's
they
cool.
had to because Tsukasa has put Anzu through the ringer with his crazy stalker incident. And Junta's going to do it because he's so madly, deeply in love with Anzu.
Yeah, that's fair.
Since he was like 5.
That's fair.
So this story checks out so far.
So they just accept it right away. Don't even ask questions.
They're just listening.
They're like, okay, cool, that's fine. So Rio appears, and Anzu's like, fantastic, and then all of a sudden puts him in a headlock, and it's just like, where have you been? Why didn't you say goodbye? You know, just like...
If we were really friends, you would have at the very least said goodbye, and, RiRi is just like, I wanted to, but, I broke the law, and I had to go right away, and... I wanted you to live your best life. I want nothing but, I wish nothing but the best for you. Don't forget me. Like, it was really like that.
It really was.
And Anzu was like,
sure.
Kind of begrudgingly, but also meaning it. Was like, we've become friends over this amount of time. And, it's like a 0.0000000000001% chance
that I might have been,
that you might be my romantic partner. So Kate, you can't really get rid of them because that goes against your laws. So
it interferes, and you're supposed to use
Riho's
your magic.
Just gotta stay here for forever
and make it so, because if you don't, like, your magic only works specifically for
my love life.
Yeah, and so that was the loophole that Anzu found, and both Tsukasa and Junta are just like, oh, and just Junta starts applauding for like Anzu being like a really good lawyer.
Happy little guy. I love him.
I know, he's the best.
He's your golden retriever. He is just your golden retriever. I love it.
It's just, I just want to hug him.
And give him a cookie. Because that's what he
and
needs.
A good pat on the head.
And a little tuck in bed, and he'd be so happy.
He would. His tail would be going.
You know, it would be.
But
I see it now. Anyways, off topic.
Anyway, so Kate's like, oh, dang it, you cut me again. But
Foiled. I'm so new, I don't know jack shit.
This is really going to cost me my paycheck. And, but Kate works the magic and is like, okay, there, it's all done, I guess. Weird, but all right. And poofs away. And I think this is when it just cuts to the three of them walking to school the next day. Just super cash like. And RiRi joins up with them and is like, okay, so now that you've basically changed everything, there's new rules. There's new rules.
Wait, but I think what happened slightly before that
go
was
on.
Tsukasa admitting to Junta.
Oh, yes!
That, like, hey, I remember we talked about this, like, and it's awkward to bring up now, but because we're essentially housemates, I feel like it's only fair to let you know that I retract my previous statement. I now have romantic feelings for Anzu.
And I'm gonna be pursuing this.
And Junta's like, okay.
But also, no, I have a rival in love.
And then that's when they are walking. Yeah. But I feel like that was an important aspect of, like,
absolutely,
the admitting of the thing, especially for Tsukasa to admit the thing. Okay?
Yeah, that changes.
We all knew it from Junta.
We
could see it on his little golden retriever face.
Oh, for sure. Super obvious.
Tsukasa's harder to read, so we need him to spell it out for us.
And he did really well.
So then they are walking to school. Riho kind of like appears.
It was RiRi, like girl RiRi. Because we're like, lesbian.
That's right. I was like, I remember saying that she needed some sexual options that were not just male. Yeah. So RiRi did appear. Because it started with just the three of them. Just Junta, Anzu, Tsukasa walking. And Junta mentioning something like, you know, this is really nice. I'm going to cherish this.
All of this. Because he's a feely
together.
boy.
I love this. And then... yes, RiRi appears and is like, hey, I'm here to stay. Whee!
And you could fall in love with me, so watch out, boys. And, you know, and then she goes on to explain, like, now that things have changed, the rules have now changed.
Yes, the stakes have gotten higher, fam.
They have. And even Anzu recognizes that.
Yes.
And so the rules have changed of the fact that now that she has her three greatest loves back in her life, that doesn't mean that they get to take priority still. And she still needs to actively be looking for a relationship and being in one. And she needs to be in a relationship by the end of high school. Otherwise, if she doesn't, all of those three things are going to be taken away permanently, forever.
Ever.
Like, never again in her entire life.
Not even killing me, Smalls. Forever.
Forever. And she, being Anzu, is like,
no, I control my destiny.
I'm going to win this.
I'm going to do it when it pleases me.
Yeah. Like, just straight up. Like, is like, I look at your rules and I put my middle finger up to them because I'm in charge.
I laugh at thee. Ha 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 ha.
I bite my thumb at you, sir.
And Junta is just kind of over here sheepishly smiling, you know, hand behind his head, casually showing off his big muscles. Ha ha. Laughing. Tsukasa's got stone cold cash face, just no thoughts behind those eyes.
No.
He's just staring. And that's really where it left off. Then we kind of roll credits for a minute.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then there's that little slight cut scene of
Oh,
Kate
yes.
fluttering. Tell us about the Kate flutters.
So Kate be fluttering, and she's like
She do
looking
be
at
fluttering.
her like Tamagotchi ass phone, and she's
So
like, and she's like, oh, like
This thing is
I'm
pissing
assigned
shit
to new
everywhere.
one.
Oh, what?
I'm assigned to a new person.
Thinking about Tamagotchis.
I
Yes.
know, right? And she's like, I hope this one isn't as difficult as the last job.
Like, she would even know she was there for, like, a minute.
Like a hot minute before she got, like, lawyered to hell and back by Anzu. And so they, I guess, whoever is on the head honcho and the higher-ups are like, oh, you're assigned to this person. And Kate ends up flying to this park bench, and we see the back of Yukana's head as she's sitting on this park bench, and Kate is going towards her, and we were both like, oh my gosh, no. Because I think, as I said, when we were watching it and we got to the point where they're all sitting down and talking together in the family room, like Tsukasa's mom and Arisa and all the boys and all that, and saying, oh, Yukana lost her memory. And I'm just straight up like, okay, she might have lost memory of Tsukasa, but that does not
Make
mean
her less psychotic.
Yeah. She's still
cray
not okay.
cray. She's still crazy.
She could still do this with someone else, and now we have a magical potato.
She's going to be doing it with Anzu next.
Oh my god.
This is more of the lesbianism that we were saying we were missing.
With the psycho attempted killer. Oh my god.
Someone who's just giving her a little
twist.
stabby.
In the heart.
I want to
in more ways than one.
see your love pour out of you, Anzu. I don't know. We can only speculate. That's why we are just season two.
But there's still no word of that yet.
As of June 28th.
Yeah.
Which was less than a month ago from our recording time.
And this is like... Okay, I'm just going to say it because it doesn't even matter. It is July 21st, and also happy Barbenheimer Day for all of you that's doing that.
Yes, happy Barbenheimer.
But
for all 0 of you who know what that is.
Oh, there's a lot of people that know what that is.
Text us. Just DM us if you know. DM us if you know what that is. Shout out to us on the... You can't Google it. You have to already know what it is.
You just have to know what Barbenheimer is.
You want to get us...
Which you probably do if you're just people that enjoy
If you reach out to the Insta, you're going to get Stephanie. You reach out to the...
Threads, you'll get me.
You'll get hands.
Yeah, hands.
Hands.
You'll get hands.
Handsy.
You know it. I mean...
Oh, no, that was a pretty cute little nickname right in the moment.
Yeah,
hands.
That's fair. Hands.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Hannah's. That's good. Yeah, now you know how to reach us. You know, we're on the threads. We're on the grams.
We're on the Facebooks.
The Book of Faces.
Yeah, so
we
many
got the
faces.
Google.
Yeah, we got the Googs. The Googs. There's so many. There's so many stinking options.
Yeah, we got a lot of options. We want to hear from you guys. Did you watch this? Did you not? Do you like it?
What are your feelings and opinions?
And if they're anything aside from ours, you're wrong. Just kidding.
But we'll pretend to listen to it. No,
we want to hear it.
We will. We'll
defend why Anzu should be with hairy cheeks. Please tell us.
Yeah, go on.
We need to know.
And why not Harima, not Harima?
Limo daddy.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Just let us know your opinion on the ending of this anime for sure. Because, wow, I didn't expect it to go as dark as it did the last 2 episodes.
Yeah. Granted, it wrapped up really quickly, this last one. We dealt with it for, a minute.
But it feels like there was so much in this episode, too. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure we probably didn't even mention some stuff. We probably missed
glazed
some
over
stuff.
a couple details.
But it's okay. Just watch it for yourself. So good. And let us know. And we can have a great conversational back and forth.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Baka bye!